Welcome to the world behind midnight. Tonight's file was sealed after a pre-Islamic underground city in the Jordanian desert was found to be under active construction, and the survey drone sent to document it never came back. Hargrove appeared in person for this briefing. He had not appeared in person since Prague. Ghost noted that his glass eye caught the desert light differently than it had caught the Prague corridor light, not reflected it, generated it, blue, the same frequency as what the survey drones had been recording from the deepest level before they stopped transmitting. Ghost did not comment on this during the briefing. He noted it in his memory. The briefing lasted 40 minutes. Hargrove said do not engage the entity at the deepest level. He did not say which entity. There are two. Dr. Amara Solis briefs the team in the station's main room at 1700. She has 3 years of excavation data projected on the wall behind her and the specific composure of someone who has spent that time developing a private vocabulary for things that have no academic vocabulary. She does not say impossible. She does not say inexplicable. She says architecturally inconsistent. She says temporally displaced. She says the construction at level 3 uses joinery techniques that have been documented in structures built in the next decade in Dubai and Riyadh and Sao Paulo. She pauses. She says, I have checked this 4 times. The structural engineering firm that will use these techniques won't exist for another 6 years. Whatever is building below us is not working from blueprints. It is producing blueprints. The handprint casts Solis has been studying for 3 years tell Ghost everything he needs to know about the threat profile before he descends. The additional metacarpal joint is not a deformity. It is a design modification, an anatomical adaptation that allows grip angles impossible for standard human hands. Specifically the grip angles required to place stone at the precise tolerances the level 3 construction shows. Whatever made these prints was built for this work, not adapted to it over time, built for it. Ghost looks at the casts for approximately 90 seconds. He says to Asay, it is not a creature that builds. It is a builder that we are calling a creature, because we don't have a better category. Asay says, what category would you use? Ghost says, architect. He does not say werewolf. He has learned, in 4 operations, that the classification shapes the response, and the response to an architect is different from the response to a predator. The descent at 02003 levels of pre-Islamic construction, each layer older in its cutting technique than the one above it. As though the city was built in reverse chronological order. The deepest levels, not the oldest, but the newest, cut with precision that increases with depth. At level 2, the team finds the first evidence of recent physical presence, stone dust that has not settled. Freshly cut Asay crouches and examines it. She says, this was cut in the last 48 hours. The construction is active. Whatever is building did not stop because we came. It continued. Ghost can hear it, not with standard hearing. With the modified perception that has been accumulating since the Caucasus. A rhythm, patient, deliberate. The specific rhythm of someone who has been working for so long that the work has become indistinguishable from breathing. Ghost stops at the level 3 access. He has been hearing the construction rhythm for 20 minutes. It has changed in that time, not the pace, the direction. It was directional before, down and to the east, the consistent direction of the level 3 work zone. Now it is directional toward him. The work is still happening in the level 3 zone. But something in the level 3 zone has become aware of Ghost's presence and has reoriented, not stopped, not changed its work. Reoriented. Ghost says to Asay, I am not going below this level. Asay says, the mission requires level 3. Ghost says, I understand that. I am not going below this level. Asay looks at him for 2 seconds. She says, understood. She takes point. Ghost holds level 2. He does not explain why. He counts this as his 4th operational omission since Vienna. The accumulation is at 22. Asay reaches level 3. Her tactical report, transmitted in the compressed notation she developed with the team over 4 operations. Single entity. Bipedal, approximately 2 meters, 30. Engaged in active construction on the eastern wall. has not reacted to OSE's entry. OSE holds position at level 3 access and observes for 4 minutes. The entity constructs with the efficiency of someone who has done this specific task so many times that the motion has been refined to its minimum necessary elements. No wasted movement, no assessment between placements. Each stone positioned with a precision that requires no measuring instrument because the instrument has been internalized over an amount of time that OSE is not prepared to estimate. She transmits, "I think it is aware I'm here. It is not concerned." That is a distinction I am making carefully. Ghost opens the resonance to mission objective at level 2 while OSE observes at level 3. One sentence after the standard header. Do not interfere with the construction cycle. Observe and document only. Ghost reads it. He reads it again. There is no extraction protocol. There is no threat neutralization protocol. There is no protocol that justifies sending 5 operators into a pre-Islamic underground site with a werewolf and a temporarily displaced construction entity. Ghost keys Hargrove's channel, he says. Mission objective confirmed. Observe and document. He does not say, "You sent us to watch a werewolf build the future." He does not say, "The entity on level 3 knows I am here and has been tracking my specific frequency since the Caucasus." He says, "Confirmed." He closes the channel. 23 omissions. Vance finds the notation on the level 2 eastern wall while Ghost is on the radio. Modern handwriting. French. Recent ink against stone that is at minimum 4,000 years old. Ghost photographs it before saying anything to anyone. He sends it to Doc. The notation reads, "Resonance initialis and sujet prepar, premier contact, Rusi 1994, Wadi Rum." Hargrove was here in 1994. In 1994, the Amazon fungal network absorbed a werewolf team, whose handler was Hargrove. In 1994, Hargrove was here watching a werewolf build the future in a pre-Islamic Jordanian underground site, both in the same year. Both under the same program designation that did not officially exist yet. Ghost does not move for 15 seconds after photographing the notation. Then he says to Vance, "You didn't see this." Vance says, "What notation?" Ghost says, "Correct. At level 2, with the level 3 construction rhythm still perceptible through the stone above him." Ghost notices that the rhythm has changed again. It is slower, more deliberate, as though the pace that has been constant for the 40 minutes they have been underground has been adjusted, not stopped. Adjusted in response to Ghost's presence specifically. OSE transmits from level 3. The entity has paused construction. It is oriented toward the level 2 access point. OSE says, "It is not threatening, it is listening." Ghost says, "To what?" OSE says, "I think to you." Ghost says nothing for 8 seconds. Then, "Extract, bring solace, leave the documentation running." OSE says, "What is it hearing?" Ghost says, "I don't know yet." He knows. He doesn't say. On the surface, Solace is reviewing her documentation when Ghost returns from level 2. She has been comparing the level 3 architectural photographs with future-dated building permits she sourced through an architecture research database, legally, as part of her published methodology. The comparison is now at 31 confirmed matches, 31 structures that will be built in the next 2 decades, in 14 cities across 9 countries, match precisely, in their structural engineering, the construction found at level 3. Solace says, "I have been trying to understand this for 3 years. My current working hypothesis is that whoever is building below us is not working toward a plan. They are the plan. The plan was expressed first. The buildings above the ground come after." She says this with the professional resignation of someone who has made peace with living inside an implication she cannot publish. Ghost reviews the level 3 footage from OSE's camera before transmitting anything to the official Obsidian feed. In the 41 minutes of footage, the constructor works on the eastern wall. But at minute 23, something else appears at the edge of OSE's NVG frame. Not the constructor. Something that has no thermal signature. A void, the way the Prague Striger were voids, but different in geometry. Not humanoid voids. Architectural. The void takes the shape of a doorframe. A specific doorframe. Ghost freezes the frame and sends it to Solus. He says, "Is this in your database?" Solus responds in 4 seconds. She says, "That door frame is currently under construction in a building in Singapore. The building's completion date is December 2028. The door frame at level 3 is already finished." Ghost lays the 1994 notation photograph, the Solus 31 match database, and the level 3 door frame still in front of Hargrove on a video call at 1900. Hargrove looks at each one. He looks at the door frame still, for approximately 4 seconds. He smiles. Not a strategic smile, not a relief smile. A specific smile that Ghost has learned, in 4 operations, to identify. The smile of someone watching something arrive on schedule. He says, "You're ready now." Ghost says, "Ready for what?" Hargrove says, "To understand that resonance is not a program for studying non-human entities. It is a program for preparing human witnesses who can understand them when the entities are ready to be understood." Ghost says, "Who decides when they're ready?" Hargrove looks at the doorframe still. He says, "They do." His glass eye emits a sustained blue pulse, the same frequency as the level 3 ambient radiation. Ghost counts to 3. He does not react visibly. He is at 24 omissions. Solis has been calculating the construction timeline since the team's surface extraction. Her calculation uses the settled dust deposition rate, the toolmark weathering pattern, and the architectural evolution visible across all documented levels. She presents her findings to Ghost at 2100. The level 3 construction has been continuous, not periodic, not seasonal, continuous. Her best estimate for construction start date, accounting for the margin of error in the deposition analysis, is 2000 years BCE, with a confidence interval of plus or minus 300 years, 4000 years of continuous construction. The same entity, or the same type of entity, has been working on this site without interruption for 4000 years. Solus says, "I stopped being disturbed by this approximately 18 months ago. It takes about that long." Ghost says, "Does it stop being disturbing?" Solus says, "No, you just stop performing disturbance." In the level 2 corridor, during the extraction holding position, Ghost's modified perception registers something it has not registered before. Not the construction rhythm, not the relay frequency from Zeta 7. Something new, structured, what he is hearing through the stone, through 40 meters of pre-Islamic construction, through whatever the level 3 space contains, is not a sound. It is a plan, an architectural plan, transmitted in the specific medium that the level 3 entities use, structural frequency. The same way the chur transmitted through steel corridors, the constructor transmits through stone, and what it is transmitting, in a frequency that only Ghost's modified perception can receive, is the next phase. Ghost stands at level 2 for approximately 3 minutes, receiving this transmission. He does not tell anyone. He does not transmit it. He has moved from omissions to something that does not have a word yet. Doc, at the surface monitoring station, notes that Ghost's biometric signal shows a 5-minute anomaly in the level 2 corridor. He writes it in his notebook. He does not ask Ghost about it. The team extracts at 0300. Ghost files the mission report at 0800 from the Aqaba transit point. The report is precise. It documents the level 3 construction. The architectural database matches the 1994 notation on the level 2 wall, the constructor's physical description, and observed behavior. What the report does not document, the 5-minute biometric anomaly at level 2, the architectural plan transmitted in structural frequency, the fact that Ghost understands the first phase of the level 3 construction in a way that requires no reference to any documented architectural tradition, the fact that he could, if asked, describe what will be on level 4 before anyone has surveyed it. He has 25 omissions. He notes this number. He notes that the accumulation is not growing randomly. It is growing in the specific direction of things that cannot be explained without describing what he is becoming, and he is not yet ready to describe that. Doc updates the program architecture section of his private field notebook at the Aqaba Transit Hotel that evening. He adds the Jordanian data, 4,000 years of continuous construction. 31 future-dated architectural matches. Hargrove's 1994 presence at the same site. The constructor's specific anatomy optimized for this work. He extends the timeline arc. He draws it as a line with dates. The line has a direction. He has drawn this line 4 times now, in 4 different notebooks, after 4 different operations. Each time it ends in the same place. He underlines the endpoint. He writes beside it. The endpoint is not a program. It is not an operation. It is not Hargrove. He pauses. He writes. The endpoint is what Ghost is becoming. Then he closes the notebook. He puts it in his chest pocket. His chest pocket has 4 notebooks in it now. The pocket is getting difficult to button. 3 weeks after the operation, Ghost is in Vienna for a transit connection. He is not on assignment. He is between operations. He walks through the first district without tactical intent, without mapping exits, without running threat assessment, without the specific environmental processing that 11 years of fieldwork have made automatic. He stops at a building under construction on a street that does not appear in any of his operational files. He looks at the scaffolding. He looks at the structural framing visible through the scaffolding. He recognizes the joinery, specifically, the joinery technique he received as a structural frequency in the Level 2 corridor in Jordan. The building in Vienna is using the constructor's method. The building permit, which Ghost photographs without approaching the site, lists a completion date. The completion date is 17 months away. The corresponding building in Solis's database is marked as future dated. It is being built. It is being built now. Ghost walks away from the building and adds this to his accumulation without naming it. Operation Pale Architecture is officially closed. The Level 3 construction site in Jordan is under passive obsidian monitoring. The constructor continues to build. The architect's doorframe in Level 3 has been joined by 4 additional future-dated structural elements in the 6 weeks since the operation. Solis has 37 confirmed matches now. Hargrove's glass eye generated the same frequency as the Level 3 ambient radiation on 3 separate occasions since Prague. Ghost has 25 omissions, and a blueprint he received in stone that matches a building currently under construction in Vienna. He walks past that building every time he transits through Vienna. He has not told anyone what he recognizes in the scaffolding. Subscribe to The World Behind Midnight to uncover the next operation before it disappears, because some secrets are best left behind midnight.